Hey, what's going on YouTube? How's everybody doing? This is diary number 3. Probably a diary that's gonna either A, upset people, B, um, tell people where people that know me are gonna tell me to stop confusing. And I really don't care. I mean that in a polite way, by the way. Kind of. Anyways, I'm coming to you guys with a YouTube video. Those of you on here that don't know me, probably don't know that I am trans. Which is going to explain this diary entry that regards my name. As it gets closer to October 1st, October 1st will be the 2-year death anniversary of my father. And back in January, I buried some of his ashes on top of my grandpa. So that he could be buried with him in a way, to an extent, because that was something that he wanted, and this was the only way I could think of to do it. And that was finally like the reality that, like, holy shit, my dad is never coming back. And that's when grief struck hard as it could. I apologize if my voice is shaky. If I'm shaking, I have an anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and sometimes I shake my leg at 125 miles per hour. Me deflecting. Let's get back to this story because I just want to make this a quick, short video, and then I am going to move on. So back in January when we buried my father, my emotions were high. Everything was high. And I remember while I was reading my goodbye letter to my dad, and letting him know, like, hey, I love you. It was kind of like my version of a eulogy, I guess. Before we left the gravesite. So with that being said, um, I have decided to go back to being Lucas. That's who I've always been. It has been so hard the last 4 months. A lot of times I'll start to go make YouTube videos, or YouTube intros, I should say, and want to say, hey, this is Lucas, or some of you knew me as Motivated Lucas. And that was a name that I got from my favorite TV show, One Tree Hill. Um, if you guys know the show, then you know Nathan and you know Lucas, two people that I kind of grew up with, and that show raised me for quite some time. It's the show that kind of shaped me into being the good person that I am today. And it still shapes me. On top of, like, my grandpa, how he raised me for the time that he did, and my dad as well. Like, those people shaped me. I chose to go with my dad's name for a minute because, first off, I wanted to try it out because I felt like I owed him something. Like, I should take his name to honor him. Uh, and I felt like it's something that I had to try. And if in the future I decided that's not the name that I wanted to go with, and that's what, how it happens, how it works. Um, and so with that being said, um, I will be returning as Lucas because Tony doesn't fit me, Anthony doesn't fit me, and clearly, it's been coming out in my written journals about how I really miss being Lucas, and um, had a conversation with my best friend Shane tonight about it. He was the first person I had the conversation with, and the reason why the conversation um, came to light and reminded me, like, hey, it's time that you have this conversation with people, even if they're mad or tired of you changing your name because, hey, they just got used to one name and now you're changing it again. To be honest, I have to do what makes me happy. I can't care what anybody else thinks uh at all, and I'm not going to apologize for it either. I love you all so much for supporting me when I chose to change it, but I chose to change it for the wrong reasons, and I had to learn that on my own. Um, and there's a lot of you on here that do know me IRL or in person, where we've gotten to know each other on a real life basis, who know that Tony didn't fit me, doesn't fit me, and neither does Anthony. Um, I'm gonna give that name. I felt like taking that name would keep my dad alive somehow, and you know what? The reality just kept getting worse. Every time somebody called me that name, like it was so hard not to cry because when I hear Tony, I want to hear my dad respond. I don't want to respond. And I think that it was kind of hard for people to call me that, my brother and my grandma, and so on and so forth, because like my brother, that was our dad, my grandmother, that was her son. Um, so I will honor him. He'll always be a part of my memory in my heart, in my soul, and he will always be with me here, and I consider him to be here as well. So, anyways, short diary entry. My name is Lucas. I took my alter ego, Tony, and have eliminated the situation. And I hope that you guys have been enjoying these diary entries. I know I have a big one coming. It might be a two-parter that is coming up in diary entry number 4. Um, kind of getting a little deep, dark into that conversation. That was actually going to be diary number 3, but let me tell you what made me, after having the conversation with my best friend Shane, like today my brother's friend got into the car. I say bonus sister actually. She got into the car and said, "Hello, Lucas. We've never met in person, but like she knows who I am. Like, you know, me and my brother are best friends also." Second person that I had this conversation with tonight, and everybody, like, when she said, "Hey, Lucas," Christian had corrected her and said, "Hey, it's Tony now." But when I had the conversation with him tonight, like, listen, I didn't correct her because it was right. It felt right. That's the case. Like, it felt right. And anyways, and during I went to the Bald Knobbers tonight doing my self-care day. I'm about to finish vlogging about that because I didn't get a lot of vlogging in because I didn't take my camera with, and I need to order a part so that I can hook my wireless mics up to this. Um, because I have an iPhone cord. I don't know if what I do have will work. Anyways, so with that being said, I'm about to finish that vlog. I went to the Bald Knobbers tonight. Um, you know, I'm gonna throw this into my diary entry. So let's say name and photography lesson, all right? So my friend Ashley, who's one of the best vocalists in the world. Anyways, me going on with that. I always send lately, like I've been sending photos for approval to make sure like the group is okay with these photos, they like them, they're not disgusted with them, that kind of thing. And as somebody who's self-conscious, I've just now got the respect in my heart to send pictures to people so that they can, you know, feel okay and good about me sharing them. And also a respect thing, right? Like if somebody doesn't like a photo of themselves, even if you like it, you should not post it. And as a photographer, that's what I'm trying to do better in. So anyways, I sent some pictures to my friend Ashley the other day. That's after I got done editing a bunch. All I've got to say is shout out to Dylan, by the way. Dylan knows who I'm talking about if he watches this video. But so anyways, she had sent a message telling me that the lighting is extremely harsh, so it makes everybody look like 10 years older than what they are. And even like those that have like bags under their eyes, or it looks like it, like for some odd reason, that's the lighting makes that stuff pop. And I, for like a couple of months, have been trying to figure out what the heck has been wrong with my photos in the first place. Like, I wasn't happy with them, but I just assumed that this is how this worked. And so, anyways, um, at first, I had like my ego was bruised, but I'm like, you know what? No, we're not gonna do that. This is constructive criticism. How can we learn if people tell us something look good? If I've got one person telling me that a photo looks good, but 10 people telling me that it looks like crap, I need to figure out what's going on. My friend Dylan happened to the other day ask me, "Hey, have you ever tried the smooth skin feature in Lightroom or even in Photoshop? And I said, no. He told me how to get to it. And I was like, you know what? This is awesome. But I said, I already finished editing these photos. I'll do it with the next set. So I'm gonna be honest and own up to it. I was being lazy. I just didn't feel like going back through all my photos and editing it for this purpose. So when my friend Ashley told me that, I was like, you know what? I think I can fix this. I know I can. Went in and launched up those photos that I had sent to her, smoothed the skin out, sent them to her, and she said they were perfect. Actually, I think that let me read her response. I'm not gonna put it on the screen because my messages with my friends are not gonna put it on the screen, but uh said, wow, yes, great job, so much better, with an emote clapping hands. And then I sent her some other photos, and she just sent a purple heart and the emoji with the hearts coming on its eyes. And that made me feel good because that was a teaching moment and a learning moment for me. It didn't bruise my ego. Actually, it motivated me to do better, figure out what it is that I could do to improve, which we all have to learn something from, like, our art. Photography is art. We have to figure out what the issue is and fix it. Otherwise, we're not going to be as successful as we want to be. So I used that comment as drive and fixed the photos. And after I fixed hers, I was like, oh my gosh, my ADHD is kicking in. This is a great feature. I decided to open up all of my photos and go through and do that to everybody's photos. Ended up sending those photos to my friend Megan. She's another bald knobber, another great vocalist. She I was showing her the photos, or Ashley was showing her the photos, and I had sent Megan some photos on Facebook Messenger a couple days ago, let her know, like, hey, what do you think of these? Um, and so, her telling, like, when I showed her what a photo looked like of Ashley prior, because I didn't have the prior photos on my phone to show Megan what they look like before I edited them. And she even said you should be proud of, like, the progress that you've made because you've grown so much. And that is great. I feel so happy about that because I've learned something new that I can take with me in next photo shoots, and it will make photos look so much better. I was so much happier with the quality comparing them, and I showed her a photo. I showed her and Brandon a photo of Ashley before the smooth face edit, and then one after, or what that same photo looked like after the smooth face edit, and they were so impressed. And I even showed them this picture that I had sent to Megan that was of Megan and Brandon, and zoomed in and said, like, you can see it here. So I'm super, super proud of that. Cannot wait to share the photos. Which, by the way, if you go in the description below, you can find my YouTube channel where I share that stuff. Channel name's gonna be changing, obviously, because I'm not Tony anymore. We're gonna fix that. And anyways, guys, there's that story. I'm so excited to share photos, and I need to respond to some messages and get some things taken care of. Um, and I'm about to give you guys my vlog, which that channel will be in the description as well. Anyways, guys, you know what? Let's give you one more story here, right? Actually, I'm gonna do this in my diary entry because holy crap. After having some conversation with some friends today about it, like, woof. So Sunday, we decided to try a new church. And I'm not judging how churches worship or anything like that. We decided to try another church, and obviously, I have to find churches that are LGBTQ affirming. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna damage myself and cause some trauma there. Anyways, I walk into this church, we sit down in the pews, and I was just looking for a church that might be closer to home. This is what I get for trying something new. I'm going back to my church in Springfield, and I'm gonna stick there. That's a great place, so much love there, and I can't wait to get to know people because most of the time when we would go to that church, my grandma lived in Springfield, so we'd have to take her home and then get John there. So we didn't have any extra time to hang out and try to get to know people of the church. So now that she lives in Branson, we can do that because I can just bring John to work and take her home. And John doesn't have to worry about, being late to work or whatever, or coming home and being late to work, or having to rush to work. Anyways, I'm looking around and I see like these like shield look plaques. They have different symbols on them. This is an Episcopal church, I think is how you pronounce it. And there was an upside down cross inside of a church. I'm aware that it may have a different meaning to other people of maybe different denominations, but I in no way find it respectful at all to have an upside down cross inside of a church at all. Um, those of you on here that know that I have messed with the paranormal, I've gone out and done thrill seeking, I guess you could say. All right, coming back to the conversation. Sorry, I had to respond to some text messages before it got too late. And John is at the store right now, so he texted me. Also wanted to make sure everything was okay. So, anyways, this church, like, it felt like the whole time, like, people were chanting stuff and that I was worshiping with a cult. I wanted to get up and leave so bad. Like, I was having an anxiety attack. I was so uncomfortable. Come to find out, so was John and my grandma. I had actually pulled out my phone because I felt like if I whispered, I'd still be able to be heard. So I just texted him and I said, look, I have high anxiety. Would it be rude for us to get up and leave? And he said, yeah, kinda. So we just kind of stuck it out. I wish I would have left because the people that I've had conversations with, who also, go to church and believe in the man upstairs, said that they would have walked out. Because especially if they were made to feel uncomfortable. So I want to say something that if you go somewhere and you don't feel like you fit in or you're made to feel uncomfortable, and this goes back to my last video about anxiety. If you know what is causing your anxiety, remove yourself from the situation before it gets too bad, because in the end, it is up to you to do that. In this situation, we should have got up and left, but I didn't want to be rude, so I just put up with the high anxiety, which ended up turning into a panic attack. So we won't be returning there. Just remember to always do what is best for you, even if it might seem disrespectful. This is me thinking about other people again, and I shouldn't have. I should have left the minute my anxiety got high. So, anyways, few things that were talked about in this journal or this diary entry. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. To all of my people out there, I love you guys so much. Thank you for always supporting me and watching my videos. You have no idea what it means and how big of a dream this is to me. Now that I've finally figured out what it is I actually want to do, because like I've been wanting to focus on mental health on a channel at some point anyways. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next diary entry. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.